Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 2, Text 35. Aplutyavabhritam yatra.
Aplutyavambritam. I think we did this, sorry, but I think we are on the first one, no? We are on the third chapter first.
Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you. Thank you. Now, chapter 3 talks between Lord Shiva and Sati. Maitriya Vachan.
Maitriya Uvacha.
Sada vidvishator evam.
Sada vidvishator evam.
Kalo vaidriya manayoho.
Kalo vaidriya manayoho.
Jamatu shash swashurasyapi.
Jamatu shurasya api.
Sumahan atichakrame.
Sumahan atichakrame.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Maitriya continued. In this manner, the tension between the father-in-law and son-in-law, Daksh and Lord Shiva, continued for a considerably long period. The previous chapter has already explained that Vidur questioned the sage Maitriya as to the cause of misunderstanding between Lord Shiva and Daksh. Another question is why the strife between Daksh and his son-in-law caused Sati to destroy her body. The chief reason for Sati's giving up her body was that her father, Daksh, began another sacrificial performance to which Lord Shiva was not invited at all. Generally, when any sacrifice is performed, although each and every sacrifice is intended to pacify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, all the demigods, especially Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and the other principal demigods, such as Indra and Chandra, are invited. So, why Vidur got concerned? Why did Sati give up her body? What was the reason? So, there was this tension which was going on between the son-in-law and the father-in-law. Daksh did not like Lord Shiva at all. He used to think, oh, Lord Shiva doesn't even have his own home, that his daughter has married beneath her. That was Daksha's mood. That was his opinion about Lord Shiva. And so, in the last sacrifice, we saw what was happening, cursing, counter-cursing. So now Daksha is beginning another sacrifice and he's not inviting Lord Shiva. Here, Prabhupada is pointing out that the purpose of any sacrifice is to satisfy Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Lord. But all the demigods are invited to it. So we can see here, now we do this fire sacrifice, but where are the demigods? They don't visit the earth in this age of Kali. They used to come in the previous ages. Sacrifices was more specifically in Treta Yuga also. The perfection was by sacrifices. So it is said that unless all the demigods are present, no sacrifice is complete. But in the tension between the father-in-law and son-in-law, Daksh began another yajna performance to which Lord Shiva was not invited. Daksh was the chief progenitor employed by Lord Brahma, and he was a son of Brahma. So he had a high position and was also very proud. So Daksh and Lord Shiva are also brothers. Because Daksh is son of Brahma, Lord Shiva is also son of Brahma. Daksha is also having a very important position. And now he does not want to invite Lord Shiva. Yada Vishikto Dakshastu.
Yada abhivikshat dakshatu.
Brahmana Paramesthina.
Brahmana Parameshthina.
Prajapatinam sarvesham
Prajapatinam sarvenam
adhipatyesmayo bhavat.
adhipatya samaya abhavat.
When Lord Brahma appointed Daksh, the chief of all the Prajapatis, the progenitors of population, Daksh became very much puffed up. Although he was envious and inimical towards Lord Shiva, Daksh was appointed the chief of all Prajapatis. That was the cause of his excessive pride. When a man becomes too proud of his material possessions, he can perform any disastrous act, and therefore Daksh acted out of false prestige that is described in this chapter. We may also have practical experience of this. We may have certain position or certain power, and then we get carried away by that power or position. We may become proud. We may misuse our position that we are in. It's a natural tendency that we get overcome by this pride. So Daksh is overcome by his pride, and what does he do? This excessive pride. When a man becomes too proud of his material possessions, he can perform any disastrous act. Ishtvasa Vajapayena
Ishwasta Vajapayena
Brahmishtan Abhibhuya cha
Brahmishtan Abhibhuya cha
Brahaspati Swam Nama
Brahaspati Swam Nama
Samarebhe Kratutamam.
Samarebhe Kratu Uttamam.
Daksh began a sacrifice named Vajapeya, and he became excessively confident of his support by Lord Brahma. He then performed another great sacrifice named Brahaspati Sava. So there are different names for the sacrifices. In the Vedas, it is prescribed that before performing a Brahaspati Sava sacrifice, one should perform the sacrifice named Vajapeya. While performing these sacrifices, however, Daksh neglected great devotees like Lord Shiva. According to Vedic scriptures, the demigods are eligible to participate in yajnas and share the oblations, but Daksh wanted to avoid them. So the oblations we put in the fire, we say swaha, and we make the offerings, ghee, grains, fruits. Before, a lot of paraphernalia was offered in this fire. And then first Lord Vishnu would take his offering, and then all the demigods would take their share. That is the reason it is these sacrifices were performed. That's how the demigods would get their share of this sacrifice. Even Lord Krishna speaks about this in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3. He says when we perform sacrifices, then the demigods are happy, and then the demigods provide us for our necessities of life. The sacrifice which we are recommended to do in this age of Kali is a Sankirtan Yajna, the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. That is the Yuga Dharma. So all sacrifices are intended to pacify Lord Vishnu, but Lord Vishnu includes all his devotees. Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the other demigods are all obedient servants of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Lord Vishnu is never satisfied without them. So we can see Lord Vishnu, he always says that he says, where am I? I'm in the heart of the devotee. He says, I'm not in Vaikuntha, I'm not where the yogis are in meditation of me, but I am where my names are being sung. He was telling Narad, I'm where my names are being sung. So Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, he's very attached to his devotees. He does not want to go anywhere where his devotees are not invited. But Daksh, being puffed up with his power, wanted to deprive Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva of participation in the sacrifice. understanding that if one satisfies Vishnu, it is not necessary to satisfy his followers. But that is not the process. Vishnu wants his followers to be satisfied first. Krishna says, Mad Bhakta Pujyabhideka. The worship of my devotees is better than worship of me. So Krishna says that one who claims to be my devotee is not my devotee, but one who is a devotee of my devotee is my devotee. Krishna does not want us to directly approach him. He says, you approach me through my devotees. That's the reason the parampara system, it is created by Krishna. The disciplic succession, he wants it in that way so that there is no deviation, so that we don't make up something out of our own imagination. So similarly, in the Shiv Puran, it is stated that the best mode of worship is to offer oblations to Vishnu, but better than that is to worship the devotees of Krishna. So Parvati ji, she asked Lord Shiva, what is the best worship? And Lord Shiva says to her, in the Shiv Puran it is recorded, he says that of all the worship, the best worship is to worship Lord Vishnu. But better than worship of Lord Vishnu is to worship his devotees. So we can see how Krishna is giving a higher position to his devotees than himself. He's not saying, oh, I'm God, you worship me, and yes, that's it, and everyone else should be my slaves. No, he's giving more glory to his devotees. He wants his devotees to be glorified. He's happy to see his devotees glorified. You know, we may say, no, everyone should worship me. Everyone should think how great I am. But Krishna is saying, no, my devotees are greater than me, so you worship them. So we should try to become a devotee of Krishna. Thus, Daksha's determination to neglect Lord Shiva in the sacrifice was not fitting. So here, Daksha is not able to understand what is the purpose of sacrifice. He's doing these big sacrifices. But he's not understanding what is the purpose of sacrifice. The purpose of sacrifice is to satisfy Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is satisfied when his devotees are satisfied. But here, Daksha is neglecting Krishna's pure devotees, Brahma and Shivji. Both of them are great Mahajans. Daksha is neglecting them, and he's thinking he will be able to satisfy Lord Vishnu. So, and he wants to perform these sacrifices, which shows that he does not have the clear understanding for what is the sacrifice meant to be performed. Reading on. Tasmin Brahmarashya Sarve.
Tasmin Brahmarashya Sarve.
Devashi Pitra Devataha.
Devashi Pitra Devata.
Asankrita Swastya Yanas.
Asankriti Swasti Ayana.
Tatpatnyascha Sa Bhartrikaha.
Tatpalyacha Sabhrtika.
When the sacrifice was being performed, many Brahma rishis, great sages, ancestral demigods, and other demigods, their wives, all very nicely decorated with ornaments, attended from different parts of the universe. So from different parts of the universe, people are coming. So there are living beings in other planets too. You know, it's not that there is living entities only on this Earth planet, and that everyone else outside the Earth planet looks like some ugly creature. No, there are higher living beings on the higher planets. In any auspicious ceremony, such as a marriage ceremony, sacrificial ceremony, or puja ceremony, it is auspicious for married women to decorate themselves very nicely with ornaments, fine clothing, and cosmetics. So yeah, we like to dress up when there is a nice ceremony going on, wedding especially. These are auspicious signs. Many heavenly women assembled with their husbands the Deva Rishis, demigods, and Raja Rishis in that great sacrifice named Brahaspati Sava. It is specifically mentioned in this verse that they approached with their husbands. For when a woman is decorated nicely, her husband becomes more cheerful. The nice decorations, ornaments, and dress of the wives of the demigods and sages, and the cheerfulness of the demigods and sages themselves were all auspicious signs for the ceremony. So everyone is ready, gotten beautifully dressed, and everyone is cheerful. Tat upashrutya nabhase.
Tat upasutya nabhasi.
He charanam prajalpatam.
Ke charanam prajaltapam.
Sati dakshayani devi.
Sati dakshayani devi.
Pitra yagya mahotsavam.
Pitra yagyamaha utsavam.
Brajanti sarvato digbya.
Brajanti sarvata digbhayah.
Upadeva varastriyaha.
Upadeva vara istriyah.
Vimana yana saprishta.
Vimanayana saprishta.
Nikshat kantitihi suvasaha.
Nishtakanti suvasasaka.
Drishtva swanilaya
Drishtva swanilaya abhyashe.
Lolakshir mrishta kundalaha.
Lo ashi mrishta kundalaha.
Patim bhuta patim devam.
Patim bhuta patim devam.
Autsukyat abhya bhashata.
Otsukyat abhyabhashatah.
The chaste lady Sati, the daughter of Daksh, heard the heavenly denizens flying in the sky conversing about the great sacrifice being performed by her father. When she saw that from all directions the beautiful wives of the heavenly denizens, their eyes very beautifully glittering, were near her residence and were going to the sacrifice, dressed in fine clothing and ornamented with earrings and necklaces with lockets, she approached her husband, the master of the Bhutas, in great anxiety and spoke as follows. So here she's hearing all these ladies are going beautifully dressed, women, the demigods, they are all having their special aeroplanes and they are going for this great sacrifice. So like what's happening? Imagine, how would we feel? She's saying, oh, my father, he's holding a sacrifice. I don't even know about it. And all these beautiful people are going there. It appears that the residence of Lord Shiva was not on this planet, but somewhere in outer space. Otherwise, how could Sati have seen the airplanes coming from different directions towards this planet and heard the passengers talking about the great sacrifice being performed by Daksha? So the sacrifice happened on our Earth planet, and Sati and Lord Shiva are in somewhere out of this planet. Sati is described here as Dakshayani because she was the daughter of Daksh. The mention of Upadevvara refers to inferior demigods like the Gandharvas, Kinnaras, and Uragas, who are not exactly demigods, but between the demigods and human beings. They were also coming in planes. So here, she's saying, Lord Shiva, he is the Maheshwar, he is the master of all the demigods. And here, there are these personalities, the Gandharvas, Kinnaras, and Uragas. They are not even completely demigods. They are mix of demigods and human beings. Even they are going for the sacrifice. They are also in their planes. The word Swanila, Vyase indicates that they were passing right near a residential quarters. The dress and bodily features of the wives of the heavenly denizens are very nicely described here. Their eyes moved, their earrings and other ornaments glittered and glared. Their dresses were the nicest possible, and all of them had special lockets on their necklaces. So they're all very beautifully dressed with a lot of jewelry, with beautiful, beautiful clothes. Each woman was accompanied by her husband. Thus, they looked so beautiful that Sati Dakshayani was impelled to dress similarly and go to the sacrifice with her husband. That is the natural inclination of a woman. Oh, there's a great party happening. Why am I not invited? So Sati is feeling that. She's like, everyone is getting ready. I want to go too, especially this is being held by my father. What's happening? Sati Uvacha.
Sati Uvacha.
Prajapatesva Shurasya Sampratam.
Prajapate Surasya Sampratam.
Nirya Pito Yagya Mahotsava Kila.
Niryopito Yajya Maha Utsav Kilaha.
Vayam cha tatrabhis sarama vamate.
Vayam cha tatrabhirama vamate.
Yadi arthitami vibhuta vrajantihi.
Yadi arthita ami vibhuta vrajantihi.
Sati said, my dear Lord Shiva, your father-in-law is now executing great sacrifices, and all the demigods, having been invited by him, are going there. If you desire, we may also go. So she wants to go, but she's saying, if you desire, we may also go. We might do that sometimes also. We may have some desire and we may tell the other one, oh, if you like, we can do this. Although it's that we want to do it. Sati knew of the tension between her father and her husband, but still she expressed to her husband, Lord Shiva, that since such sacrifices were going on at her father's house, and so many demigods were going, she also desired to go. But she could not express her willingness directly. And so she told her husband that if he desired to go, then she could also accompany him. In other words, she submitted her desire very politely to her husband. Tasmin bhaginyo mama bhratirbi swaker.
Tasmin bhagyo mam bhritami sokehe.
Dhruvam gamishyanti srohid didrikshavaha.
Dhruvam gamisyanti suritah dikshavaha.
Aham cha tasmin bhavata bhikamaye.
Aham cha tasmin bhavata abhikamaye.
Sahopanitam paribarham arhitam.
Saha upanitam paribarham arhitum.
I think that all my sisters must have gone to this great sacrificial ceremony with their husbands just to see their relatives. I also desire to decorate myself with the ornaments given to me by my father and go there with you to participate in that assembly. It is a woman's nature to want to decorate herself with ornaments and nice dresses and accompany her husband to social functions, meet friends and relatives, and enjoy life in that way. This propensity is not unusual for women, is the basic principle of material enjoyment. Therefore, in Sanskrit, the word for woman is stri, which means one who expands the field of material enjoyment. So stri, expanding everything, can give more pleasure. When a man is alone, then he is just maybe happy with a small thing, maybe a small apartment or a small job or whatever. But then comes the wife. And then he wants to have a bigger home. He wants to have friends. He wants to have children. He wants to have pets. So then he's expanding his enjoyment. So same goes for the woman. After the woman is married, So she may be okay with a small house and a small position, but after she's married, then she wants a bigger home, children, um, family, pets. So everything expands. Everything expands. In the material world, there is an attraction between woman and man. This is the arrangement of conditional life. A woman attracts a man, and in that way, the scope of material activities involving house, wealth, children, and friendship increases. And thus, instead of decreasing one's material demands, one becomes entangled in material enjoyment. This is the nature of the material world. We may fight it, we may not accept it, but that's how it goes. For the man, it's the woman. For the woman, it's the man. This is how Maya keeps us here. She gives us this form, and then that's how she lures us. A woman, Lord Shiva, however, is different. Therefore, his name is Shiva. He's not at all attracted by material enjoyment, although his wife Sati was the daughter of a very great leader and was given to him by the request of Brahma. So Lord Shiva is not under the control of Maya Devi. He's not attracted by the material energy. He's the master of the material energy. He's her husband. So Lord Shiva was reluctant, but Sati, as a woman, the daughter of a king, wanted enjoyment. She wanted to go to her father's house, just as her other sisters might have done, and meet them and enjoy social life. Here, she specifically indicated that she would decorate herself with the ornaments given by her father. She did not say that she would decorate herself with the ornaments given by her husband, because her husband was callous about all such matters. He did not know how to decorate his wife and take part in social life, because he was always in ecstasy with thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Lord Shiva is always in ecstasy. What is he in ecstasy about? He's always thinking about the Supreme Lord. So he is not interested in this social affairs. According to the Vedic system, a daughter is given a sufficient dowry at the time of her marriage, and therefore Sati was also given a dowry by her father, and ornaments were included. So we can see that the dowry system is there since time immemorial. This is not of today's time. It's just people started misusing this system. Before it was in a pure form, gifts given out of love. Later, then it became something else. It is also the custom that the husband gives some ornaments, but here it is particularly mentioned that a husband, being materially almost nothing, could not do so. Therefore, she wanted to decorate herself with the ornaments given by her father. It was fortunate for Sati that Lord Shiva did not take the ornaments from his wife and spend them for ganja, because those who imitate Lord Shiva in smoking ganja exploit everything from household affairs. They take all of their wife's property and spend on smoking, intoxication, and other similar activities. So Prabhupada is pointing out to some people who say that they are the followers of Lord Shiva, and in the name of Lord Shiva, they indulge in all sorts of illicit activities. But here, whereas we are seeing the supermost excellent character, supermost excellent personality of Lord Shiva, where he just wants to engage in, he's just engaging all the time in pure devotional service. That's all he wants to do, serve the Lord, nothing else. Is that okay?
Yes.
Did anyone want to say anything about how Sakti is feeling, that she also wants to go to the sacrifice, she wants to dress up, everyone else is going, I want to go too.
So just one
It's very
question,
natural.
that was Sati also present at that time when the first yag happened?
It's not mentioned, so I'm not
Mentioned,
sure.
right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Was not particularly mentioned. But she's going to be present for the second one. She's going to be
Without
present
her
for this one,
husband.
which is coming up.
Yeah, without a hostel.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for listening and